This episode is brought to you by marketing consulting firm The Bonafide Lyrics and Marketing, LLC, where creativity meets business. You can check us out at www.theblm.com for more information on how we help local artists and creatives maximize their business presence. Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
It's the All Love, No Fear podcast.
Hey.
It's the All Love, No Fear podcast.
Hey.
Check us out. It's the All Love, Oh, No Fear podcast. All Love, Oh, No Fear podcast.
Hey.
Blah.
What up? This is the All Love No Fear podcast.
Hey,
the
y'all.
All Love No Fear podcast. The All Love No Fear podcast.
Hey,
We
y'all.
are back. Sorry for the break, but we had things to do.
I was trying to do the Pop Smoke tongue, it's not a tongue roll, but that. I can't do that. I call it tongue thing because it requires some type of tongue move. Yeah. I'm gonna need Fabio Foreign to teach me because he know how. Because all his songs are literally just that all the way through. It seems like he's got it mastered. So, maybe he should put on a YouTube tutorial or something.
What Fabio Foreign is not going to do
is put on his YouTube tutorial. But it would be nice because I like how he does it.
That's
he's got it
Somebody
very.
else might do it. Fabio Foreign will not.
He's not putting up a YouTube for me.
Of the things he will do, that is not one of them.
That's not one of them. That's upsetting because I really would like.
You were quite low, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
You're quite low.
Low?
Yes.
My voice? Okay.
You're in the mic at all.
Okay, I'm sorry for the noise you might hear in the background.
You're not in the mic at all.
I thought I was. I sound loud to me in my headphones, but you're saying that that's not true.
No.
Which hurts my feelings very much. But yeah, y'all, thank you for being patient with us in these last couple of weeks. I don't know what happened, but somehow we ended up taking off 2 weeks. There was a lot going on.
Word.
It was a lot going on. It was a lot of busy things. I was ootin' the boot.
Ootin' the boot, in the boot,
Ootin' the boot, in the boot, in the boot, in the boot, in the boot. Very Canadian when I say oot in the boot. I was in the streets, oot and a boot, professionally developing and whatnot.
Word.
And the timing to record just wasn't really there.
Nope.
It was just too much. I had to pack my bags. I had to get my house in some type of order, and then it was like, oh snap, I got to go. Shout out to Gladys Knight. So yeah, that's kind of how that went.
Word.
So that's how it went. But we bike.
Word.
We bike.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody who's listening on whatever platform you're listening on. We appreciate you. Appreciate every listener that we have.
Appreciate y'all. Yes, welcome to episode 5 of season 5. I believe that's correct. If it's not correct, we'll just post whatever the right thing is in the description when we post the episode.
It's episode 5 of season 5. You're correct.
I feel like it's 3 or 4, but Mark said it's 5.
Why don't you believe me?
Because I just don't know what's going on. I
looked it up. It's 5.
You looked it up?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So it's 5. I didn't think it was 5, but I'm going to believe you. I'm going to believe you in this moment because why would you lie about a thing like that?
I don't know.
You wouldn't. You wouldn't.
Word.
You wouldn't.
So we're going to go right into the icebreaker to bring this episode to the beginning.
Yeah.
And the icebreaker is called
Love it or lose it. Hey, love it or lose it. Hey, love it or lose it. Hey, love it or lose it. Hey. Sorry. Trying to break some.
You have to roll the tongue. You can't.
I can't roll my tongue. We've talked about this. I don't know how.
Yes, but it sounds like you're screaming.
Apparently,
genetic. When you just say it, it just sounds like you're screaming. And it's weird. It
doesn't have the effect that I'm hoping for. Is that what you're saying?
You get this. You just screaming. This,
That's how it sounds? Okay,
this,
I'm
this
sorry.
sounds like sound like you're surprised. It sounds like you're just shocked by what's going on. It does not sound. It does not give the effect.
My apologies to the listeners. I'm sorry if y'all driving or something. I did that and it scared you. My bad. I didn't know. Now I know. I won't do it again. Yes. I won't do it again. I'll just maybe I'll have Mark pre-record it and then we can just slide it in at the appropriate moments.
I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do that. You can get this out.
Mark, come on.
Nope.
You never want to do anything fun.
That's not fun to me.
It's fun to me, Mark.
Yes, it's fun to listen to. It's not fun to do.
But I like it.
Yes. No.
Do you see how he treats me? Do you see? Do you see? No. We're not going to glaze past this. We're going to let the people talk about it.
4 choices.
You're so rude.
And the 4 choices,
you get on my
nerves. Have one that you love, hold on to, never want to let go. And one you want to lose, throw away. Out of the 4 choices, only one person usually knows the 4 choices. I found the 4. I was going to just pull a 3, honestly, but I found the 4th one. The 4 choices are smell goods for a room.
Okay.
And it's interesting. Like, I think I know what your answer is going to be, but it's 4 different scents that people usually use in a room, and the 4 choices are candles, incense, oils, and sprays.
Okay. Candles, incense, oils, sprays.
Yes, they usually people use to make their home
to sanctify their home
to smell good.
Okay, because when I thought you were saying smell goods, I was like perfume.
Yeah, like I that's why let me describe what it is, because you might think I'm talking about the actual scent, the actual smell, but like more the medium. In
which they make their room smell good. Well, bleach is always my first choice, but
it's because you're a weirdo.
I don't feel like I need to be labeled. I just like what I like.
Yes.
And you don't like it.
You know why it's a weirdo? Because if you smell too much bleach, then you'll faint.
Only if you mix it with ammonia, then absolutely pass out for sure. As long as you don't mix it with ammonia, safety.
It's still bad for you. It's still chemicals, so I feel like it's still. You'll still pass out.
Not as intense. You'll wake up faster. You'll wake up faster.
It still will affect you.
The ammonia will kill you, though, for sure.
Yes,
for sure. That one.
Bleach will still. It's still not good.
I wouldn't recommend just just rolling around just breathing it in raw. Open the window, or
just don't breathe it in at all.
But if you're using it to clean, there's no way to avoid breathing it in. Unless you're wearing a mask or something. But most people ain't doing that.
Everybody got masks. We could do it.
Yeah, we do. But people are trying to use their mask to prevent COVID, not bleach potential pass outs. So, you got to pick and choose. It's trying times.
What is your lose it?
My lose it. You said oils, candles.
Incense sprays.
I feel like oils.
Why?
Mostly because I'm not really sure. I feel like they're a little complicated to utilize. Not complicated.
You mean when you're heating up the oils, right?
Yeah, heating up the oils. It seems involved, and then I don't know if I think the scenting is as potent.
And I guess, I don't think it's supposed to be. That's supposed to be subtle.
Yeah.
It's. I guess
I like aggressive scenting.
You need extra devices for the oils.
You need extra devices for the oils. It's not a simple bada bing bada boom oil. It's a little involved. To have oils. I've done it before, but I'm this is work that I don't particularly want to engage in to make it nice in the room. So yeah, oils is probably my lose it. I get why people like it. If you like a more subtle scent, or you just you like the whole process of doing that, then that's cool for you. Love that for you. But yeah, oils would probably be my lose it personally.
Yeah, I think my lose it is sprays. Because I feel like it's too chemically to me.
Okay. Trader Joe's has a lovely one, a lemon and something.
But even that, sometimes it doesn't smell like natural lemon many times. Some of them are good. They're okay. But some of them, even then, they smell like unnatural fruit.
You don't like it?
I feel like I can smell the chemicals.
Well, there are something in there. There's something in there for sure.
Correct.
some type of deodorizing agent or something.
Notice I don't like the smell of chemicals.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
You do not.
So it bothers me sometimes with the smell of chemicals out, and like it makes like surfaces like damp.
Also that, depending on how the spraying is done.
Yeah,
yes.
like you're trying to spray it out and everything, and it'll make a surface damp.
And you don't like that?
No.
I don't like these.
So I think that's why my spray does not work with me.
Okay, that's fair. And we're not really very big sprayers here at Chateau Bennett anyway. That's not our vibe. It's not our stilo.
Word. How about you? What is your love it?
I love it. Candles.
Yep, I know.
Candles are great. There's so many amazing scents that you can utilize. And you just literally have to flick your wrist onto a wick with a lighter and bada bing, bada boom. You've got scentations. And the beautiful part about candles is that you can utilize that scent multiple times. You just have to click that wick and you've got scent in your room. I might be a little biased. I did used to work at the Yankee Candle store back in the day when I was in college at Source Mall when it was a mall. And I developed an affinity for the candle situation there. So yeah, I'm a candle girl all day. You can do it like seasonal, like you go to Yankee Candle, and I guess they sell and to me Yankee Candle is they're some of the better scented candles in my opinion, because some of these candles, like the off-brand quote unquote ones, like the scents aren't that strong, like it's very faint. I need the scent to fill the room.
Yeah, you like a strong scent.
I like a strong scent. I need it to fill the room. So Yankee Candle for me does a good job of doing that. Like I have a Christmas cookie candle in here that I burn around Christmas time. Chef's kiss. So good. Just, I think it's like a 1-wick candle, and it does the job. Then I got a little 3-wick in here, or had. It broke. Rest in peace to that 3-wick. It wasn't Yankee Candle, but it was another like nice high-end one, and it was a vanilla something or another, vanilla sandalwood or something, and it did the job too. Yeah, I like candles. Like they don't smell as chemically to me as like a spray, as you said. Like there's probably some type of chemical in there to, make it a candle and have it keep its shape and do whatever. But it smells to me more like the actual scent it's supposed to be, or the scent that it says on the bottle. Is a bottle? Jar. Than, some of these other things. So yeah, it's the candles for me. And they double as lights in the event that, your electricity goes out. Your house can smell good and you can see things. So 2 for 1. 2 for 1.
Word. So
how about you?
I think I'm navigating between the 3.
Okay.
And I think for different reasons. Cause I was trying to figure it out because like incense are cool, right? Mm-hmm. But like I feel as if someone spelled incense, they automatically assume a hotep is lurking in the space. It means a hotep is
not a hotep is lurking.
It's a hotep is lurking around.
I mean, they do be giving that, because I mean, when you go to like the spots in Brooklyn where they be hotepping,
it's cool. It's
cool,
it is
but
a comforting smell. But I feel like a hotep is lurking. Like someone's gonna come out and say something very hoteppy.
You don't want to inspire someone's inner hotep by burning incense.
No, I don't want someone to come in and say, "What's today's mathematics?" I'm
not doing that with anybody.
I don't want that to happen.
Not on these good Black American days. No, sir.
They feel inspired by the incense.
Like, don't do that. Don't come here and do that. No, please. Por favor, we beg.
Yeah. And I like the oil because it is subtle, and if it's done correctly, it can have a strong smell. The only issue I have with the oil is we have a child.
Yeah.
And that oil will get knocked over.
Yeah, because, much like her mama, she's a clumsy little something.
We have to put that in the middle of the table or something for it to work.
Yeah. Otherwise, calamity will ensue.
Yeah. Because she has knocked over many things.
The reason my candle is broken, as I mentioned previously, is because she knocked it over. And she knocked over the table it was on. And we have wooden floors here, so down went candle, and that was the end of that. I think I got maybe 2 good burns out of that candle, and it was a 3-wick candle too. I'm kind of tight now I think about it.
Yeah,
but it's whatever. It's whatever. It was a gifted candle, so there are more candles where that came from. I can go right to my local Bed Bath & Beyond / Kohl's / Target / Laces Way to be selling candles at, and just get another one. But
Word.
Yeah. No, the incense, I'm just trying to imagine where I would store an incense stick. And it just doesn't work with my aesthetic.
Like, incense sticks are easier because just the stick can be sitting in the corner somewhere.
I don't want that. I don't like the look of that.
You like the look of incense sticking out?
I don't want it.
But people usually do actually is just they make a little hole in the corner of the room and stick it in there.
There'll be no holes here.
I know, but I think I've seen that many times.
Okay.
Or they'll stick it like for instance we have curtain rods. They'll stick it in the curtain rod or something just above.
Sure. I mean, I guess if we did have them, we would have to do something like that because again, we have a toddler. So.
Yeah. But usually this incense is above. It's not. It's not anywhere low.
It can get dangerous. And I want to get dangerous.
Yeah. But and the candle is cool because of the light, but I'm always worried about it knocking over and burning the house down.
Well, if it's, you got to place them strategically so that they don't, in fact, knock your house down. But that's a fair point.
And there's varying levels of candles.
Yes, not all candles are created equal.
No.
Some of them are very cheaply made.
Yeah. So, So if I rate them, I guess I'll say maybe candle, incense, oil.
Candle, incense, oil. Okay. If incense is your number one, you can say that. I won't think you're a hotep if you say it.
No, the issue with, like I said, the incense is and I also know that not everybody likes to smell incense.
And everybody's into that
not everybody likes that smell.
It is acquired. I'm not going to front.
Because it's the wood smell that a lot of people are not really excited about.
Yeah, the first time I smelled it, I was offended by it. But now I'm accustomed to it. I know what to expect, especially when I visit certain establishments. So, there's that.
Word.
There's that.
All right, anything else?
Nah, man, that was it.
All right, that was Love It.
Or Lose It. Hey, love it. Or lose it. Hey, love it. Or lose it. Hey, love it. Or lose it. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, y'all. So, let's get into today's main topic. So, yeah. Mark and I was talking before we started recording in our unofficial pre-production. What should we talk about? Because, what's going on in these streets? And as y'all know, the gas is too damn high. And part of that is likely due to the Ukraine-Russia conflict that is going on over there in Eastern Europe. And earlier this week, I was following, I was on Twitter. And I saw a tweet that was talking about basically how there are people over there evangelizing to the people at the Ukrainian-Russian border evangelizing. And, there were folks who took issue with it for varying reasons. And I wanted to talk about it a little bit because, for those of you who don't know what evangelizing is, it's a big part of it's where the term evangelical comes from. And it's a big part of certain populations, I want to say, of Western Christianity. And essentially what it entails is, going out and giving people the good news about Jesus Christ and letting them know that he loves them and he cares for them. And with the ultimate outcome, I think it's safe to say this, that they will become Christians themselves, the people who are being evangelized to. So, I have thoughts about evangelism as a Christian, and I hope they don't kick me out of Christianity for some of those thoughts, but I don't, they might not be congruent with what other people think about it, but it's just me and my personal opinion. So when I first saw the tweets, I was like, oh, okay. So I started reading a little bit more, and it was just interesting. I thought the whole concept of evangelizing in, like, at the border of Ukraine and Russia, where this conflict is happening, was weird, mostly because those countries are already predominantly Christian. They're Eastern Orthodox Christian, but still Christian. So my first thought was, well, why y'all over there? Like, because the people already know about Jesus. They just follow a later calendar for things like Easter and Lent and so on and so forth. But it's essentially the same concept. So, like, why are people over there? And then, there was conversation about, are people over there for pure reasons? Are they over there helping the people who are, like, caught in the conflict? Or is it just we see this as an opportunity to go be in the mix of something and operate under the guise of God told us to do this, and we're going to go out and spread the gospel and so on and so forth. And, I'm kind of two minds about it. On the one hand, I feel as if, this is a time where people need encouragement and to hear, something positive. So I don't necessarily, quote unquote, have a problem with people going from wherever they are to talk to people about God and to talk to people about Jesus. But a part of me is also like, but what are you doing to assist in the efforts on the ground? Are you working, like, with an organization or whatever the case is to help people get to safety? Are you providing an immediate need of, like, food, clothing, shelter? Are you, like, what are you doing? Like, at the end of the day, after you've done your evangelizing spiel and whether the person has, accepted Christ or not, like, what are you doing to help the people that are actively there? Because at the end of the day, there's still a conflict happening. There's still people being killed. So I guess while I get the trying to bring positivity to a negative situation angle, there's a part of me that's like, that's cool, but there's also a very real angle here that people need help. And what are you doing to actually provide that help? Because if all you're going to go over there and do is tell them about Jesus and pray, you could do most of that from the house. Like, you don't have to be over there to do that. Because again, these are predominantly Christian countries. They already obviously have pastors, preachers, ministers, etc., who are Christian, who are addressing the needs of their faith communities and those of the communities around them there on the ground already. So what are you doing, I guess, that they can't do or that they haven't already done is my kind of question. And the reason I kind of have that question is because there are times where I feel like Christianity goes about evangelism wild shady. Like, no shade, but maybe shade. I don't know. But if you have to travel to another country and lie about what you're doing there to evangelize, something about that don't add up to me. I'm just saying. If one of the 10 commandments is do not bear false witness. And you essentially bear false witness to enter a country, to preach about Jesus. Como se dice, what is this? Like, the cognitive dissonance is astounding. So I'm always kind of like suspicious when I hear about stuff like this, because I'm like, well, what's the motive here? Like, what's really going on? Is this a pure motive? Is there some other ulterior motive / agenda going on? Like, what is this? So that's kind of where my thought process is at right now, if that makes any sense.
So a couple thoughts. Number one, I think your concern about evangelism, well, it might be reminded. Let me see. I guess let me know if this is true.
Mm-hmm.
Christianity is a very dominant religion.
Yes, across the world.
Across the world, right? Yeah. It's not the most popular one, but it's a very dominant religion.
Yeah, it's one of the big three.
And Christianity also brings a lot of privilege with how they do things.
Right.
Right. A lot of times Christians operate from a state of privilege in how we approach other religions, and how we approach other people who practice Christianity.
Right.
Right. We sometimes put our culture and country attached to religion and say that version is a better way to practice it.
Right.
Right. So like what we so just like every other factor that comes from privilege, you have this, well, I know I have this worry, I'm not sure you do, you have this worry that you're coming from a place of privilege as if we're better, so it comes off as if you're looking down on another culture and everything, because you're coming from, because like if you don't recognize that you're coming from a place of privilege, it comes off that you're shooting down another thing, and so so people are not going to be more receptive, because you're coming and saying we're better than you,
and I think
so that might be so.
Yeah, that's where my point about them being already Orthodox Christians is coming from. I'm like, do you not know that they're already Christian, or do you not care about the type of Christian they are because you don't think that's the right one? What is this about?
You think American Christianity is better?
Yeah.
Right. So you're like, all right, I'm bringing my American Christianity because it's better, and you think that it's not. You think it's better because they're in a wartime, and everything, even though.
Meanwhile, they're over here killing black people for the fun.
No.
But whatever.
Meanwhile, almost all Christianity has a lot of war past.
Yeah, I'm like, let's get into the Crusades, everybody.
Yeah, so like a lot of other war past. So like, it's interesting. I understand where your hesitation is from.
Yeah,
I think I do.
Yeah, like that's kind of where it is. It's like, is this based on like a pure desire to bring people to a closer relationship with Jesus Christ and to let them know that there's hope and that there's a God out there who cares about them and loves them? Or is it I don't think these people doing it right, so let me go over there and let them know what the right way is. Because it's not like these people have no religious background, no context of God, no anything.
And I think the concern is it can be both, because like I mentioned before, there's someone who can orchestrate, who might have impure thoughts about it, like feeling that way. But a lot of people that they ask to come over there might have pure thoughts. Right. You know what I'm saying? So like it can be both. Right. It doesn't, like, even if there is somebody who organized who does feel that way, that doesn't mean that everybody over there does. Right. I think your concern is, like, based off of a conversation, I don't think your concern is evangelism as much as how people evangelize. Yeah. Right. And you can say how people evangelize in America. Yeah. Right. Going to a homeless shelter and just praying with people without feeling like you have to address their need. Right. Is not as productive. Like, yes. It's important because, like, it even says in the Bible, though, address the physical need first, right? So that they can do that. It's the fun thing. It's actually the basics of family development, meaning like it's hard for someone to focus on something when they have a physical emergency need that they need solved.
Right.
Because they can't focus.
Right.
Right. And that's kind of how people can be manipulated or into a legitimate religion. They can still be manipulated into it. And I use legitimate based off of because everybody's version of what they think Christianity, they think is legitimate to them. But like, you might have a legitimate cause, but people can be manipulated without a clear thought into your religion.
Right.
Because they just want food.
Right.
Right. So like, so if someone says I'm hungry, you feed them first. Then like after you feed them, then like when they're fed and they're full. Now we can talk about Jesus.
Right.
Because now that you have addressed their emergency need,
right,
what they need right now.
Right.
People in Ukraine, a lot of them are just trying to leave and they need a place to stay and stuff like that. You
right.
address that need and then in the process from there, like so.
Right.
And it goes from like show you're a Christian before you tell me you're a Christian. You're
right.
a Christian.
Right.
So like I think that might be where you're concerned because like show that you're Christian. Like even if you and not everything requires massive amounts of money. Just help them find ways to get out,
right,
and work on that first,
right.
Like staying on the border and doing that is not really helpful,
right? Like I'm like
get them to help.
Yeah, help them get to safety first.
Yes, get them safety first. Get them help their immediate need first.
Yeah,
and then after they're good, then you can have that conversation.
They can have that conversation, but to be trying to have that conversation when people are literally like fleeing for their lives. They probably like left family members behind because they died or they couldn't take them or whatever the case is. Like it's a lot going on. So I'm like obviously I'm not there, so I don't know exactly what's going on. But I'm like, my hope is that things are being gone about in a
genuine way,
in a genuine and humane way.
Yeah, because it's happened with food pantries at our church where like I've heard someone say like, oh, are these people even going to join the church? Like it makes it seem like you're putting your requirement on I need food.
Right. And it's like, right. What does the people joining the church have to do with their immediate need?
Yeah, you provide their immediate need and then you give them the choice. But if you know they have no desire to become Christian, doesn't take away what you do.
And it doesn't take away that they're still in need.
Correct. It doesn't take away.
Because the Bible doesn't say love other Christians as itself. It says love your neighbor. There's no caveat to what your neighbor is. It doesn't say your neighbor has to be a Christian. It doesn't say your neighbor has to be a member of your church. It doesn't say your neighbor has to be the same skin color as you or any of those things. It just says your neighbor, period. So, when we start putting these caveats on things, it's like we start making, and this is a general issue I think that a lot of us have with our understanding of Christianity, and much of it is like how we were taught. A lot of us treat Christianity like it's a transactional situation, and a lot of it is in the way we're taught. Like, we're taught very much like this. Yes, the Bible does say, ask and you shall receive, but it also says faith without works is dead. So it's like, it's not just that I ask and I get something, or I work and I get yes, you have to do certain things to get certain things, but I also don't feel like this transactional way that we understand it is really good either. Like, I think the relationship with God part is the piece that we don't often get into in reality. And, even the way some of us are taught to understand that is like, it's very transactional. Like, if I do this, then God will give me this. If I do this, then God will give me this. If I don't do this, then. So it's like I feel like a lot of us, the way we're taught about this religion, it gives us this idea that everything about it has to be transactional, even helping people. And I'm like, I think there's something wrong with that. If you're going to help someone, help someone. But if it's based on maybe if I help them, I can talk to them about about my religion or my church and try to like no. If someone ends up doing that as a result of the help they receive, great. But the mission of providing the help shouldn't be to do that. Because to me, then you have an ulterior motive. Even if it's not a bad motive necessarily, it's still an ulterior motive because you're not helping for the sake of helping.
Yeah.
You're helping to gain something for yourself or for your church or whatever the case may be. So, that's kind of my whole thing. I'm like, people like to talk a lot about, we got to go out and evangelize. But I'm like, what are you doing to address the immediate needs? Like, are you as a church, like lobbying local politicians to address like the food insecurity or homelessness concerns in the community your church is in? You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing to actually make an impact in the communities that you're in? And I'm not saying that it's an easy thing to do or that it's a quick fix type of situation. But, if you are going to be about, changing the lives of people by introducing them to Christ, then you need to be about changing the lives of people. Because if we're following the example of Christ was literally out here changing the lives of people. He was healing people from leprosy, from blindness, from being unable, from paralysis, from all types of things. And I'm not saying that we got to go out here and, with anointing oil and put hands on people and do all of this, but we got to be doing something that the people can see. Oh, these people are really trying to make an impact in the community. They're really trying to make a change. Like, they may be coming up against roadblocks, they may be encountering issues, but they're not just walking around here with the little 8x11 leaflet telling me Jesus loves me, but then not doing anything or even acknowledging the issues that are facing the community around them that prevent people from even focusing on what they're talking about when they're evangelizing.
I just had a thought. I wonder, do a lot of Christians feel as if that, like, do they feel like they shouldn't have to pay attention to the criticisms of Christianity, right? Meaning, like, there's like I told you about Christianity, it's a place of privilege, and how Christians address LGBTQ, how they address other religions, how they address Muslims. Like, I think that, like, so for instance, cause I've heard it before, where like they would see that and like their first thing would be like, not all Christians, right? And they'll do that, but like they don't change how they approach things because a lot of people have this mindset about Christianity, and like if you're not conscious of that, and you make sure you don't address it, well, not address it, but just like be conscious of how you word things and how you do things with that in mind, you run the risk of damaging the body in the process. Right. And like I guess I understand the concept of like I shouldn't let the negative talk affect how I do things. I understand like that thought. Right. But like we still live in a world. Right. With people. Right. that have a mindset. So like you can't, I don't know if you can just operate as if it's not there. Right. And like I'm not saying you have to publicly address everything that people are saying, but be mindful of how you approach things. Right. Because people have, like people have a mindset that, for instance, people have a mindset that like people from church are always asking for money all the time. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. So like, shouldn't you be mindful of how you approach money when it comes as when it comes down to public? Mm-hmm. Because people might not take it the way you want to. Right. Right. And if people are not taking it the way you want to, you're not going to get the result you want. Right. Or what people usually do is like, oh, that's fine, they're saying all that, but like it's not true. So like they don't change their policy or how they do things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like I think that kind of is what's been happening, because a lot of Christian we kind of operate in silos, right? We kind of had this bubble about us. We're kind of like, because like we're told we're separate from the world, right? And I guess I understand where the concept comes from,
right?
Of like we have to grow and then come with the world. Like I get what we're saying, what's being said, but like if we I feel like we still have to understand that like if our primary goal is to help get other people in to know more about Christ, I think we have to we can't.
Like that whole concept of not of the world, it's like I get it.
You're not of the world, but you have to acknowledge that it exists.
Yeah,
and you have to operate like, you know what I'm saying. You still have to acknowledge it exists.
Yeah.
You have to acknowledge that things are a thing. You can't just operate on the same rules that you have without acknowledging the things that are happening.
Yeah,
like. And like I feel like people recognize it with certain things, but don't recognize it with others.
Yeah.
Like people were trying to recognize it with like how they address music and stuff like that, but don't recognize it with others. Like we do that, but like we try to minimize what that is. And I feel as if like if you live in a world and like you're trying to get some, like if you live in a community with a bunch of people who are from the Nation of Islam, and you just want them to know more about Christ just so they know more about it, right? You should know something about Islam,
right?
Before you go there, like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't just go in there like with no knowledge of it and then just saying stuff,
and being ignorant, because it's like
you should know what's going on.
Yeah,
in the community you're trying to serve.
Yeah, like it comes across very like elitist and
privileged.
I'm privileged and I'm above you and I know best, and you know, and that's not the most effective way to win a potential person over to your side. Because at the end of the day, regardless of whether people have a religious background or not, people follow things that they innately feel good and positive about. And if the feeling is these Christians be coming over here and they be saying, they think they're better than me, they're not going to follow you and join your church or your ministry or whatever. And you may have potentially turned them off from the situation altogether. It may take, 5, 6, 7, 8 more interactions with somebody who proclaims to be a Christian for them to finally be like, oh, okay, I guess this ain't that bad. But that first or second or third time I came across somebody, I didn't like what it was given.
Yeah, and like we have to understand, just like how we have to recognize, I have to recognize that men are the white people of gender.
Yeah.
Christianity is the white people religion.
Yeah.
And we have to recognize it that way, meaning like laws are in favor of us.
Yes.
Society is in favor of us.
Yes.
How people operate and how things operate will always be in favor of us.
Right. In America. So, in other countries, it might not be the same thing, but in America, most definitely.
It's always in favor of us. And everything, and we have to acknowledge when, just because they decide to start doing things in favor of other religions is not an attack on us, or other belief systems is not an attack on us. We've just been dominant for so long.
Right.
That anything that takes away our dominance makes it seem like oppression.
Right. And it's like, that's not true.
Yeah. So
that's not true.
So like we have to be, I'll acknowledge that also.
Right.
Like we are the ones in privilege.
Right. And that's not to say that there aren't challenges and whatever the case is, but there's an enormous amount of privilege, like that nobody's running around ripping cross necklaces off of Christians, but we still have teachers in New Jersey trying to rip hijabs off of little girls' heads, little 7-year-olds. We've got people, we had people, and I guess still do to a certain degree, attacking Middle Eastern men wearing head coverings because they thought they were Muslim, but they're really Sikh and they didn't know the difference and blah 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 blah. Like
and you also probably shouldn't attack Muslims.
Yeah, but don't do that. Don't attack anybody. Mind your business. Like stay where you at. But
let's put that out there also.
Yes, like no Christians aren't experiencing that kind of harassment and attack in this country. And so I think just because the country is being more open to other religious practices or other thought processes or belief systems about things, it doesn't automatically mean that Christianity is under attack. Like the very foundation of this country and the laws that exist are directly connected to Christian beliefs. So, I mean, shoot, in New York City, the Muslims just started getting Eid like 2 years ago. Eid has been around forever because Islam has been around forever, but we just was like, man, y'all be all right. Easter break? So, you know, the fact that, you know, other religious groups are finally starting to get some recognition of what they've got going on shows that it's taken us a long time, but we've got a long way to go. So, yeah, I mean, long story short, I'm not against evangelizing. I just think it needs to be done with humility and with an understanding of who you're trying to evangelize to, what they need, and how to provide it to them while being authentic and humble and respectful in what you're doing. Like, you shouldn't have to feel like you have to browbeat somebody into believing what you believe. If you do what you say you're going to do and you're a stand-up person, organization, whatever the case is, the people will follow. But you don't have to use car salesman it to get people on board. And because to me, when you start doing that, you start cheapening the brand. And if you're going to be a brand ambassador, i.e. an evangelist, then don't cheapen the brand.
Not brand ambassador.
I mean, listen, I'm just trying to put it in terms that people can understand. So yeah, that's that on that for me, with that. So hopefully, you know, this conflict over in, the Ukraine comes to an end soon. Like the people can get rushed out of there and everybody can just go back to minding their business. And this does not escalate into a full World War III. And I hope all the evangelists and all the people are out there, remain safe and unharmed. And yeah, that's that on that for me. Anything else for you?
No.
All right, y'all. We would love to hear your thoughts, your feedback, your comments. You can hit us on Instagram, All Love No Fear PCast. You can hit us on Twitter, All Love No Fear P1, and our email, All Love No Fear PCast @gmail.com. Word. So let's move on to our new music section.
New music.
Dum bum ba dum bum.
New music.
Bum bum ba dum bum. So yeah, new music out this past week.
Or 2 weeks. Or 2 weeks.
Or 2 weeks, whatever. I looked on Tidal and this is what they told me was new that I was interested in. So this is what y'all gonna get into. Lucky Daye, one of my favorite R&B artists. He put out his new album, Candy Drip. He's been promoting it on the Instas for a while with the visuals and whatnot. So I was like, yes, it's coming. It's gonna be here. So yeah, Candy Drip by Lucky Daye out now. Get into it. Dave East, the rapper who plays a Method Man on the Wu-Tang show on Hulu that I need to start back watching. He put out an album, H Die.
I was trying to.
I don't know how to pronounce this, but HDIGH. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I was talking to somebody and I was trying to figure out why I can't get into Dave East. I was trying to figure it out.
Why? Do you have a reason?
I think he has to broaden his what he talks about.
Okay.
He has to broaden his. He has to do better at like talking about other things.
Okay.
Maybe that will make me feel better about it. And like he's not the best rapper.
No, not at all. Not at all.
but like I feel like what will help, I think, make me for me as a consumer would be to broaden his topics he talks about.
Okay.
Cause I'm always been like, why can't I get into him? It takes me. It's hard. Cause like, I feel like he's decent, but like I can't get into it.
Okay. Fair point.
What else you got? Cause I have 3 albums that I listen to.
Jeremiah put out Late Nights with Jeremiah. Happy for him to put out an album because Jeremiah almost died last year, I think, from COVID. He had it really, really bad, was hospitalized, intubated, the whole shebang. So I'm happy to see that he's putting out an album. Plus, I think he had some weird label situations. I think we talked about it on the podcast before. Jeremiah was out here moving wild, but look at God, won't he do it? So Late Nights with Jeremiah is out. The Griselda people stay giving us content. I can't keep up. Benny the Butcher put out Tana Talk 4. I'm like, all right. So Conway gave us something. Benny gave us something. I'm just waiting for the next one at this point.
Yeah, that goes into like the 3 albums I've been kind of listening to.
Oh, I'm sorry. And the last one I had was Shenseiya Alpha. She put out her album.
Yes.
Yeah.
The 3 albums I've been kind of listening to within like the last 2 weeks was Robert Glasper, Black Radio 3, which is great. If you have not listened to it, please get into it.
Black Radio 3?
Black Radio 3. Conway the Machine, God Don't Make Mistakes.
I think we mentioned that one on a previous pod.
You did?
I think so, but I'll put it down again.
I don't think we did. Because like I remember that there's a song with him and Joe Scott. I don't think we talked about that before.
No, we did not.
Yeah.
But I think I mentioned that the album had come out, but like I hadn't listened to it yet.
Yeah, here's a song with him and Joe Scott, which is fantastic.
Yes. The whole album is great, actually. I enjoy it very much. I've been listening to it the last couple of weeks, riding to and from work.
And then Earth Gang, Ghetto Gods.
Yes, that one was good too. That was very good. Earth Gang, Ghetto Gods. They got a song on there. I think it's called Water Boys with J. Cole. Love.
Yeah, there's a few good ones on there.
Yeah, the whole album is good from start to finish, but
yeah,
that's my favorite one on there. Yeah. Anything else for new music? Nope. All right. Let's move on to this week in Random. So, I know I might be a little late, but it's whatever. If you're looking for something to watch, I need y'all to get into Inventing Anna on Netflix. Y'all, the scammery, top notch. Outstanding scammery. Sis almost got away with it. And really almost got away. Like, no exaggeration. Sis almost got away with it. It's from Shonda Rhimes. This is part of her, $300 million Netflix deal. And Shonda's delivering. Okay, if I was a Netflix executive, I'd be like, you know what? That was money well spent. Because this lady's delivering. She gave Bridgerton, which the girls was all watching last year. Now she done gave the Inventing Anna that has us glued to our seats, honey. Yes.
I think it's funny that she got into the white people scamming genre, because white people scamming has become a genre.
Bruh. The white people scamming shows have been just like having us in a tizzy.
It's funny that it became a genre, but it became a genre on Netflix.
Yes.
Like I don't know if they're going to name it the section called white people scamming, but they should.
I don't think they should. I don't think they should. I don't think they will, because the people
they might not. But
they might not.
But people, they should call it.
But they should find some variation of that name, because that is exactly what is happening.
White people scams.
It's white people scams, okay? But Inventing Anna, in case you don't know what it is, it's a story about a young lady named Anna Delvey, who back in from 2014, 2015 to about 17, 18, was out here scamming the girls. She was allegedly starting a Soho House S club, and she was out here stealing money from all over the place and pretending she was the heiress, and just big time scamming. It's 9 episodes of greatness. Get into it. It's going to be great. I don't want to spoil too much of it if you haven't already seen it, but it is good. It is definitely Shonda Rhimes stamp all over it. It's riveting. It has you feeling all the feelings. So if you watch Shonda shows, this will give what it's supposed to give for you in terms of expectations. So get into that if you're looking for something to watch this weekend. Moving on to other people's business. So we've talked about Kanye on here before and how he's been on the internet talking wild and crazy towards Kim. So I guess a few weeks ago, DL Hughley was doing an interview with, I think, Vlad TV, and they asked DL about, what he thought about it. And he was just kind of like, yeah, this dude wildin'. Like, we got to stop making excuses talking about, he fighting for his family. Like, what he's doing is whack. This is crazy. This is not something we should be seeing on social media. That should be, privately between him and his family. So I guess Kanye heard about it and then made a post he was talking about how he was upset about something North posted on TikTok or Instagram or something. And then he was like, and DL, you a pawn. I know people that could get you killed. I'm like, so now we're threatening to kill people on social media? Kanye, at this point, somebody needs to take his social media away and put him in a jail cell because you've threatened bodily harm against somebody. I'm like, there got to be some type of laws about that, yeah? So DL Hughley saw it and responded and was like, boy, stop. You finna have who come do what? How about you have them people that can come allegedly kill me, pick up your medication prescriptions at the CVS while they on the way to see me in Calabasas? Because what are we talking about? Like, I'm like, how has it become this dude is out here just attacking people for having an opinion about what he's doing? Like, bro, your argument for I'm fighting for my family becomes less and less valid when you get on social media issuing threats and doing all this other stuff. I'm like, I see why Jay-Z stopped fooling with you. I ain't even gonna hold you. For a little while, I thought Jay-Z was a jerk, but now I don't. I stand with the Sagittarian King. You deserve this because you don't know how to act. Got me out here standing for Jay-Z. I don't even do that, but got me doing that because you're out here moving crazy. So I hope the Carters no longer speak to you because you don't know how to act. You're embarrassing. And DL Hughley's not to be played with either, to be clear. Like, I don't know if people think just because he makes jokes and, he does funny things that... Them comedians are some of the scariest people on earth, in my opinion. And some of them comedians, I'm not... Stop playing with them people, is all I'm saying. DL Hughley's one of them people that I feel like, don't play with that gentleman. Leave that gentleman alone. Please stop. I would hate to see something happen to you.
I think more black comedians than black rappers came from the hood.
Far too many. And R&B singers, black R&B singers, beat the brakes off you.
Yeah,
believe that.
I feel like more black comedians come from because you're like you trying to because like a lot of people in the hood are funny,
super funny,
but also will knock you out. But they're funny.
It's big jokes. It's all funny games till you get slapped.
But a lot of them are funny.
Yeah, big funny. But you're gonna fool around and get slapped playing with people. So stop.
Yeah.
Don't do that. So y'all just pray Kanye get the help he needs because I'm tired of seeing him on my social medias talking trash to various people. Like, just
I'm trying to figure out what's coming out next. He's still talking. That means something else coming out.
I don't want to hear it. I don't care what it is. I don't want to hear it. I just want him to fade into obscurity. I just want him to fade away. I don't want to hear about him no more. I'm over it. So in further alleged beef news, but I guess this one isn't really alleged. This one's real. Slaughterhouse, the rap supergroup with Royce the 5'9", Joe Budden, Joel Ortiz, and Crooked I, seemed to have gone kaput for good. About 2-3 weeks ago-ish, Joel Ortiz and Crooked I put out a song.
Oh, their album just came out too.
And their album just came out too. Basically talking about what happened and why the group is no longer. Long story short, it seems like the group was split in half on what the group direction should look like. Obviously, Crooked I and Joel were on one side. Joe and Royce were on the other. And I guess, after a lot of back and forth, Joel and Crook said, all right, we're just going to do our own thing. No shade, no harm, no foul. you know, in the song, I forget what the name of the song is, but they basically said Slaughterhouse is dead. And I think they were burning like a flag or a shirt or something with the Slaughterhouse logo on it. And I guess Joe and Royce got riled up. And then Joel and Royce were arguing on Joe's IG live at some point. And, you know, things have taken a turn. At this point, not really sure if there's hope for reconciliation for the group.
It's called vacancy.
So yeah, I'm into zodiac signs, so I looked at the signs of the group, and unfortunately I'm not surprised that it didn't last. It's 2 Scorpios, I believe, a Cancer or a Gemini.
You said 2 Scorpios, 2 Cancers.
Not 2 Scorpios, it's 2
Virgos, 2 Cancers.
2 Virgos, a Cancer, and a Libra. I don't know where this was.
Who's a Libra?
I think Crooked Eye is a Libra. Yeah, I don't like. He's a Virgo Libra cusper, I think. Yeah, this wasn't gonna go anywhere. Like, full disclosure, it never was gonna. As talented as the 4 of them are, it wasn't gonna materialize, because the 2 Virgos I think are on the same side. No, it's one Virgo, one Cancer on each side. Yeah. So yeah, just a bunch of people that can't be told nothing. And then I feel like poor Crooked Eye is just like, I just want everybody to love everybody. Can we do that? And no one's loving everybody.
That's not Crooked Eye. It's probably more Joel.
No, Crook is the Libra.
I know, but he's not everybody though.
Libras want everybody to love everybody.
He is not that person in this situation.
He's not that person in this situation.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, he's not that person in the situation. So it looks like that's still ongoing. I don't know if like Joe and Royce plan to take some type of legal action, or if they're like going down that road. Hopefully everybody can like talk it out as men and remain friends, because everybody here is over 40.
They're not gonna be friends. I don't think so.
So sad. Well, it is what it is.
And like I've said it before, I was like, I like Royce rapping a lot, but he does take a lot of things too serious.
Seriously.
And like we was watching the clip, and he was like, he's emotionally invested. He's very emotionally invested in a lot of things.
He said he's a 50. I think him and 50 Cent got the same birthday, so it's very he's very emotional Cancer.
He be emotionally invested in it, and I'm like, you gotta
relax.
Just relax. Well, like I don't know, like he's been that way for a long time. Like I think I noticed it with like how he reacts to certain things. I'm like, you gotta relax.
Yeah, like the whole thing with him and the Lupe Fiasco podcast, I was like, at first I really thought they was joking. And then he was getting all spicy and feisty, and Lupe was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I think he gets... I think he takes himself too seriously.
Yeah, it's like, just calm down. It's not that serious. Like, just relax. Like, there's no need for all of this.
I mean, it's how he is, but you gotta relax.
Yeah, it's too much, and it's creating conflict where there doesn't need to be, or it's adding to conflict when it doesn't need to be, and it's something that can be easily resolved. So yeah, there's that. What else is on the agenda for today? So Jussie Smollett. If everybody remembers, Jussie Smollett allegedly orchestrated a fake hate crime attack in Chicago. Was it 2-3 years? I don't even remember anymore. The time them blended together. And so he got sentenced last week to 150 days in county jail, Cook County Jail, I believe. And I think 30 months probation or something like that. And he, you know, when the verdict was read, he got up in church and made, not in church, in court, and made a statement, that he's not suicidal. He, you know, he didn't do this. He's innocent, etc., etc. Apparently he will be held in protective custody for the 150-day jail sentence. But, you know, I find this story to be very interesting. Like, I don't know if I've made my mind up about whether I think Jussie was lying or not. Like, there are parts of the story that seem very, very fishy, very suspicious, very, what is this? But the way the situation has been treated and the sentence that he got to basically be in county jail for 4.5 months. I like something about this. I feel like I'm not quite getting the full story.
What I think is going on is that there is racism out there.
Yeah.
Right. I think they're just making an example of him because they found somebody they can give the maximum sentence to for lying on the cops to prove, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To lying to lying to say that there's racism. So they're trying to make an example so people don't report it. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they're making an example out of him. Like, and he has no backup, and there's no one to back him up. So, like, they knew that they can kind of throw the book at him, and no one will come for his defense. Yeah. So which is sad. Yeah. I'll be honest. But I think that's kind of what's happening.
Yeah. I just am like, what's going on? Like, I hope one day we'll get a Surviving Jussie Smollett or something, so we can get to the bottom of the story. I don't know, because
that's happening.
Because I'm confused. Like, nothing about this story makes any sense to me. Like, the more I hear about it, the more I'm like, what? Huh? Like, I have more questions than anything else as the answers come in to the previous questions I asked. Like, I don't feel like my questions are satisfied when it comes to this situation. So I'm just a smidge curious about what is taking place, because it don't make sense to me. Okay, it don't make sense. But yeah, I mean, I wish him the best. I hope. They say he's under constant surveillance while he's in jail. He's in his own cell, and there's a guard wearing a body camera, etc., etc. So, you know, hopefully he make it through and he come out all right. Cause yeah, man, it's looking dicey out there. What else is going on? So Nick Cannon, his show got canceled. His talk show. It had been on for 6 months and it had got canceled, honey. Yeah. I don't know what happened, but they said, yeah, I guess ratings. I don't know what time it came on.
It's probably a step one.
Yeah, and I feel like. You know, I feel like men-led talk shows also have a challenging
men-led talk shows that are not white men have never taken off.
Yeah, I think Steve Harvey is really the only person that I can think of that's had one that has had any kind of traction.
And that's not a variety show.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's not a late night show.
No. Ooh, Lord.
Like, that late night show format is dominated by white men.
Mm-hmm.
And I think women can do it. Yeah. But black men, I don't know any black men who can. Well, it is Trevor Noah, but I think that's because he's not African American.
Fair.
I love Trevor Noah, but I also think people who are not African American are more receptive.
Yeah. For sure. The final thing I want to say before we close out, rest in peace to Tracy Braxton. Tracy Braxton is one of the younger sisters of Toni Braxton. Okay. She was on the Braxton Family Values show with them for the 5 or 6 seasons that the show was on. I saw a picture of her last year at her son's wedding, and she looked very, very skinny. And someone said in one of the pictures, like, you kind of see the port, the chemotherapy port, like, that was on her. And, you know, somebody in the comments was, you know, people in the comments obviously were making jokes about her being skinny, because people haven't learned from Chadwick Boseman to stop making comments about, like, famous people when they start looking skinny. And someone had posted that they thought she was going through chemo or whatever. But I think one of the sisters had come out and said, our sister's fine, because, it's nobody's business. But it can't, they posted on social media, I think yesterday, that she passed away from esophageal cancer. She'd been struggling with it for over a year. And she passed, and she's only 50 years old. Like, that's crazy. Like, to think that, she was, just starting to reap the rewards of, being on the show. Like, she had put out 2 albums, like she was touring, she was in movies, like she was really starting to like get into what she wanted to do in terms of the entertainment industry. And, the fact that she's gone so soon is crazy. Prayers to the family, because, I think this is the first of their siblings to pass. I think everybody else is still alive, and the mom and dad are still alive. So, I'm sure neither one of them expected that they'd have to bury one of their children. So that's very sad. Prayers to her husband, to her son. It's just sad. Like, the news shocked me. I'm not going to lie. When I saw it, I was like, what? Because I'm like, that's not what you're expecting to hear. Like, but I guess, the cancer was very aggressive, and she fought as hard as she could, but, things took a turn for the worse. So yeah. And that's it for the news this week in random that had happened, This week in random. So I like to end every podcast with a positive affirmation for people to walk with for the rest of the week. So I just want to leave y'all with this one. It's from a song by William Murphy. It's called It's Working. And the affirmation is this: everything is working together for my good. That's it. Because, life be lifing. And sometimes it feels like it's very much high level trash. But, believing that everything is working together, even the trash, for the good at the end, is mad useful to helping you get through from moment to moment. So yeah, everything is working together for my good. That's it for the All Love No Fear podcast, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. Word. So until next time, we bid y'all adieu.
Yeah, boy. Yeah. It's the All Love No Fear podcast. It's the All Love No Fear podcast. Check us out. It's the All Love No Fear podcast.